Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name's Stan. Welcome to kind of a familiar yet unfamiliar place of the Noiseberry Games channel. Today, I am a guest star for John.
Hello, it's me, John.
Who actually owns this channel, operates this channel, does everything with this channel, because I am here to share some of my games of the year for 2023. Now, I do want to stress that some, because I will be making a video on my channel. Link will be in the description down below. I will make sure of it this time. Sometime in January, when I've had time to fully flesh out my opinions on certain games that I might be playing right now, and when I can actually record better games on my new PC, which I'll hopefully be getting in about, what day is it? I want to say about 2 weeks-ish.
What a scoop.
Yeah, I want to preface this video by saying 2023 was a hell of a year, both good and bad, for games. And there's a lot that I didn't play due to time, there's a lot I didn't play due to interest, or rather lack thereof, but there's also a lot that I didn't play because they wouldn't run properly on my laptop, such as Remnant from the Ashes 2. So those are absolutely games that I wanted to play. There are games, rather, that I wanted to play that I wanted to check out, but for various reasons, the laptop being kind of the most constraining one, I didn't have a chance or the capacity to. So if you don't see your favorite game on here, understand there may be a reason for that, and I will be making a separate list next year in 2024 of the games that I didn't have a chance to play in 2023, at least due to hardware restrictions, to see how those might have fallen in the list of my 2023 games. I also want to stress that my list on my channel will be slightly different, as I am a little less restrictive in terms of like remakes and things, whereas here on John's channel I want to only include games that were like brand new or came out in a proper 1.0 this year.
I think remakes are allowed. It's just remasters are usually a bit iffy.
Yeah, so I kind of changed my rankings up on my channel just to make the video worthwhile.
Fair. Yes, I look forward to your video on your channel as well, Taylor.
Cool. I look forward to it too. I have not even started on it.
You still got time. We always do this a little bit early on my channel so I can get it up in time for the end of the year.
Fair. So, I guess to really kick things off, for my number 5, and John, I'm not sure if you would have heard of this one, it is called On Guard.
Oh,
well,
yes.
On Guard.
I know that. I was like, Ongul. Never heard.
On Guard.
Yes,
On Guard. Is my accent that bad? I mean, yes, I believe it's that bad.
I didn't know you played it.
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
I remember seeing like a demo playthrough of it on Iron Pineapple's channel. I'm sure the same place you saw it.
Yeah, that's where I saw
it. And then I was like, you know what, this looks really cool. I want to get this. And when it came out, I was like, awesome. And hang on, I want to check the price because I want people to know about this. You know, for full disclosure, it is like it's one of those kind of score chaser games where you try to beat the level fast. You try to find like the 3 secrets on each level. But like a regular playthrough took me like 4 hours.
Yeah, I do remember like when it came out, like some people were kind of shocked at how short it was. You can get it through it pretty quickly. Yeah,
so it is $25.99 Canadian, or you know, whatever your original equivalent is. So I get for some people that's a little expensive. For me, I think it's fair because this game has so much replayability. Like, I wasn't looking for secrets. I wasn't trying to perfect my scores in the combat. I didn't try like the arena mode. There's a lot here that you just got to be willing to kind of dig your teeth into if you really want to get your value for money, but I still really enjoyed it. The humor is awesome. The writing is fantastic, and it doesn't outstay its welcome. I think that's why I enjoyed it being that 4 hours, because anything longer, the gameplay I would be fine with having plenty more of, but it's just the writing doesn't... The writing holds up really, really well at that up until that 4 hour mark, but I think if you were to go past it by any significant margins, it would just feel slightly repetitive or like not be as enjoyable. That being said, each chapter is kind of like its own mini episode. Like, they're all different stories with connected characters, well, same characters, and like connected relationships and themes throughout them. So you could absolutely add more stories in, and that would just be kind of standalones, which I'd be fine with. It's just in that time, at the time that I played, 4 hours was a good, solid enough time for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, yeah, I think the humor is so hard to get right in a video game. You know, like if you're doing a comedy movie, like bam, 2 hours max or whatever, your jokes aren't gonna wear thin. But yeah, like 4 hours, even just doing 4 hours is very difficult for comedy. So it's
Yeah.
very impressive that it didn't wear thin, like in the whole playtime.
And even like even the organic jokes, if you do something that's unexpected, or like you do something that's not in the game script, they have stuff planned out for it. But it's like you can't expect writers to plan for absolutely everything. And the longer you go, the more they have to write for, the more unexpected or new situations that could come up, so the more they have to plan for. And just it balloons far quicker than most people would think about.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just again lose that comedic edge that it had.
Mm-hmm. Did you go back to it, or were you quite happy to be done after 4 hours?
See, I will go back to it at some point. It's just I was in a similar situation to you. Granted, this came out in like August, where there were other games that I wanted to play, and I did want to make sure I kind of hit at least some of the big releases for this year, which I arguably missed like all of them.
There was just too many, there was literally, unless this was your full-time job, there were too many big games to play this year.
Now, I also want to stress that I moved to South Korea in May of this year and have been kind of adjusting to a teaching position. So like that has taken up a lot of my time. Getting settled in my new place has taken a lot of time. So this year alone has been an outlier in terms of life events as well. But I just typed in like, biggest games of the year of 2023. And I'm trying to see if there's a game here that I have played. And I'm seeing one. I played that for like 20 minutes. So 2 that I've played through all the way. Redfall, absolutely not. I refuse. Yeah, I played
can't wait to play
2 of these all the way through. And that's it.
Yeah, I was in the same situation. Like, it got to like August or September or whatever. I was like, I need to start playing some of these big games.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I won't be playing a lot of the bigger games, or won't have played a lot of the bigger games, but I think On Guard is absolutely worth a look, and I think a lot of my list is going to be indie games.
Yeah, that's fair. I think mine was as well.
Okay, so on to my number 4. This game I did do a video on that I was actually gifted a key through Keymailer, is Fae Farm. Now,
of course.
Well, here's the funny thing. I have, at this moment, too many hours in Fae Farm.
10,000 hours.
Not even close. Actually, funny enough, today a new DLC just dropped for it.
Oh, really? Okay. So you're going back to it.
Technically, I will be at some point. I'll get into why I'm not going back to it right away a little later, but there is absolutely reason enough for me to go back to it one day. But yeah, I have, 63.3 hours. And a part of that was me chasing the last 2 achievements. They've added more achievements with this DLC.
Ooh,
so that'll be
that.
Fun. Anyway, and there are some, when I do get all achievements and I do make like a podcast episode on it, there are absolutely some things that I will be discussing that frustrated me around that achievement hunting experience. But all in all, I think it's a great farming sim with a really like interesting take on like experiencing the Fae lands, or like, Fae creatures and the different creative things they can do with that. I think the game was let down in terms of its social interactions, like its hard events for sure, especially after playing another game that's on my list. But it is one of the games that I think has big room for improvement and will only get better with time.
It's so funny that like this game kind of came out of nowhere and just like it just did something for you, and you just like got sucked right into it.
Oh, and it happened again with something else that I'll talk about.
Oh, amazing. Do you think this game would have hit as hard if you hadn't moved countries this year?
I think the game wouldn't have hit as hard if I wasn't as like stressed out with this year.
Stressed and busy, yeah.
Yeah, like if I was like in like just a general chiller like mindset or like groove, then I think for sure it would not have like impacted me so much. And I do want to take that's absolutely a good point to bring up, is that like you got to be in the right mindset to really like want to delve into this game.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was interested, like how much of this one really appealed to you because you just wanted something nice and chill and relaxing to play.
And I also don't play a whole lot of Stardew Valley or like Harvest Moon clones. Like Stardew Valley was my game for the longest time in terms of the genre. But I will say Fae Farm has absolutely been taken over by something else, which I will get into in a bit. So it is not the best version of this game or this genre out. And like Stardew Valley still reigns as king, but I might have genuinely found something that I feel reigns beside Stardew Valley as its queen.
Wow. I'm excited for that one.
Moving on to number 3. This one you may not remember because this one actually, funny enough, shout out Shill for Game Pass. Let's go Game Pass.
Oh, no,
came
not
out
again.
earlier in the year. I think actually this, funny enough, I got all achievements for this. This was the last game I played before I moved to South Korea and like no longer had access to my PC.
Oh, okay.
And this was Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
Oh, okay.
Now this was the
is that Neo?
Yeah, it's the people who made Neo.
Okay.
Sorry, who made Neo. This was kind of, as it's been called, their answer to Sekiro. Now, I have played Neo 1 and Neo 2, not very much because I am garbage at those games. I do want to go back and get all achievements, do all the stuff for them at some point, but like, the Neo combat system just never really clicked with me, and I don't know why. But then when you put it in the Three Kingdoms, like, era of Chinese mythology, which I absolutely love, and you put my boy Guan Yu, like anything with Guan Yu, I will fucking lose my shit over. Like he is my boy. And when I can wear his armor, when I can be his blood-sworn brother, like, fucking love that. Sorry, it just went absolutely feral there. But no, I love like glaive type weapons, especially like Guan Yu's Chinese, like his dragon glaive is meant to be the weapon used by a Chinese war god, and like it's this whole thing. But I loved having his armor. I loved using his weapon, and just the combat system really clicked for me. I don't know why. I don't know what about it, but it felt much more welcoming to me personally than like Neo or Neo 2 did. And just seeing these characters, forging these relationships with them, and just some really fun boss fights really helped me. Was like, okay, I get it. I get why people love Neo. I get why people love Neo 2. And it's the only reason I'm going to go back and play those things, because I loved this game.
Interesting. I'll be very curious to see if like Neo and Neo 2 now click with you after playing.
Well, I tried Neo 2 a little bit afterwards, and like it's still very different, but I want to do Neo 1 to try to get into that mindset first and properly appreciate, because I feel like if I play Neo 2, I'm going to have the same problem I did with Dark Souls, where I played like the newer one that had all the quality of life improvements, which made it even harder, especially for Dark Souls 2, to go back to not having those quality of life improvements.
Yeah. So, I think if you want to do them, you have to start with the first one to kind of deal with the clunkiness before getting the really smooth experience.
The other thing is, Wolong isn't a 200-hour experience. Wolong was like 40 hours, not even, for me to get all achievements.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So like it's a much more bite-sized experience overall in comparison with the other games they've developed.
Interesting. I mean, I'll admit, like I kind of discounted this game as soon as I heard that it was Neo but Sekiro, because I didn't like either of those.
That's absolutely fair. But like for me, it was
you like Sekiro.
I really like Sekiro. I have all achievements in that as well. But for me, like a big pull was I liked Sekiro way more than you did. Like, so it was easy for me to wrap my head around that. But also, similar with you in Hogwarts Legacy, I love the Three Kingdoms period. I love all of the characters, and seeing Zhang Fei, seeing Lu Bu, and just seeing all this crap that went down. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as a comparison. Like, you know, I love magic. You don't really care about the wizard stuff.
No,
I don't really care about like Chinese history or mythology either, so like it doesn't appeal to me in that way. So I can see why you loved this game.
Of course, a British man doesn't care about the Chinese after getting them addicted to opium.
Wow.
You gotta. I mean, we're both history graduates, man.
It's true. I do have a minor in history.
Anyway, I know you personally didn't do that, but you know, blame their ancestors for everything and don't let them forget it. Right? That's the whole motto.
I think so. Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
Which, nope, can't say that.
Nope. No controversy this year, Taylor.
No, can't bring in personal issues here.
Oh god.
So actually, my number 2 is one that kind of came out of nowhere for me, in the sense I had no idea it existed. And I forgot to double check before this to see when
What was
it
that
came
game
out
called again?
in 1.0.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently this game has been like, okay, November 14th, 2023. Thank God.
It came out of early access?
Yeah, it came out in
November?
1.0
Okay.
in November 2023.
Okay.
So, and I've never heard of this game before this. And I was like, funny enough, you know how, did you, when you, with your phone, John, when you open like Chrome, and it doesn't open to like a particular page you had open before, does it kind of give you those like miscellaneous news articles?
The nude articles. Yeah, it does
news
actually, yeah.
articles.
My top one's Elden Ring, of course.
Okay. Right
Yes,
now,
it does
my
that.
top two are Steam $50 credit available for playing a game, and Scarlet and Violet new feature lets you kill shiny Pokemon.
Oh, okay,
Just reading
interesting.
headlines.
Yeah.
But this was a headline that read, "This game is Stardew Valley, but hotter." I was like, "Excuse me, what? Like, why?"
Oh.
Wait, do you know what
Okay.
game I'm talking about?
I thought I did, but then I remembered you hated that one, so no, I don't think it's that
What game
one.
did you think it was?
Cornucopia.
No, they are
One of the
not
girls
hotter.
in the screenshot is very hot.
Fair, but no. The game I'm talking about is Coral Island.
You've definitely mentioned it, and I also don't think I've seen anything about it.
Because guess what? It's on Game Pass, baby. And as of this recording, I have 60 hours. I did not realize I had 60 hours. But I will say there have been some change-ups in my personal life related to work that have caused me way more stress. And part of me coping, which is a very unhealthy strategy, I'm trying to work on that, was just delving into this game. But like, this is the game for me that rivals Stardew Valley. That is the queen to Stardew Valley's king. Like,
Really?
first of all, it's on an island, evidently. But you have this massive farm. Like, I had a problem with Cornucopia size, but Coral Island lets you kind of just take it at your own pace. It doesn't give you thing after thing after thing after thing. But yeah, you take it at your own pace. You farm, you mine, you fish. And you can also catch bugs, like in, say, Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing, stuff like that. You make friends with the townies, as they're called. This game's
Townies.
version of Joja Mart is called Pufferfish, who actually caused an oil spill, and are basically trying to buy out the town to turn into a corporate like tourist destination thing.
It's BP.
And are not, yeah, pretty much. But which actually brings me to the unique mechanic of this game, which is diving. So you put on a full diving suit, you go down, you clear trash, you activate these altar things. It's really hard to describe it outside of context. And then you meet mermaids, or like merfolk. They have a whole kingdom down there. And there is a quest line that I have not followed through yet, because I don't know if it's like you can go back and forth. You can turn into a mer person.
Oh, sick.
And you can marry like the mermaid princess.
That sounds great.
I have married the doctor, or one of the doctors on the island. Her name is Yuri. Because that, like, she was in the screenshot. I was like, oh, she's super, she's very attractive, and she has a really interesting backstory. But like, this game is not kidding in that a lot of the characters are way more attractive, for very different reasons. But what I noticed as I'm now in Summer of Year 2 is, first of all, there's a lot more quality of life improvements around, like, just building things. There's a massive crafting list that I haven't even finished yet. But like, peppers are still the hot ticket, pun intended.
Oh, really?
There's
Pepper
a
lords.
museum that you can contribute to, which has like hundreds of things. So like, the museum, you can donate gems, you can donate artifacts, you can donate bugs, fish, fossils, and like, you see the museum actually grow. Like, we started with like this tiny little thing, but then it genuinely grows to have all these other exhibits for the insects you caught, for the fish you caught, for all the deep sea creatures you caught while diving, for all the artifacts and like dinosaur bones you found. And even when you start getting like duplicates of the dinosaur bones or of the gems, you can take them to these elemental spirits. And it's really interesting because you can talk to these guys and like, you treat them like, townies, like villagers. You can make friends with them and do hard events with them, but they also give you the ability to enchant your tools. Meaning, I have currently like it's like an 80% chance to not use energy on my pickaxe, and like a 40% chance for additional rare drops.
Ooh.
But yeah, like there's a whole new depth to everything. In terms of all the animals you can get, what you can do with your tools, how you can upgrade things. But also, what I found is the hard events are way more fleshed out. And this is, like, for me, what really drew me in is that these characters tell a much more mature story. Like, Yuri, for example, became a doctor because, well, she became basically Doctors Without Borders, and then finally settled on Coral Island because when she was 7, her cousin basically died in her arms as they were playing together because her cousin had this degenerative terminal illness that Yuri didn't know about as a kid. And so she wanted to help people like her cousin. Or there's Luke, whose parents own the very like prestigious vineyard in town, and he owns an electronics store. But his dad basically said, "With the money I gave you to open up the store," and Luke's like, "Dad, I worked for you. That's money I earned. This is my store." But his dad is just this Walter. He's such a prick. But he's still of this mindset that because you worked for me, it was still my money that gave you this store. That I gave you this store.
Oh, jeez.
But they're all much more mature stories. They feel much more engaging than something like Stardew. And I appreciate Stardew for what it is, but it is, in my opinion, like they're lighter stories than Stardew. They're not like trying to tell this really complex, mature story, whereas Coral Island absolutely is. Like you can talk to Jim. Sorry, go ahead.
Stardew can get pretty dark in places. Like, do you think this gets darker, or like the stories
it absolutely
more
gets darker.
In depth?
I would say a little bit of both. Like you can talk to Jim,
Okay.
who is constantly at his wife's grave, just mourning her passing.
Oh God.
So like it's things that they don't want to talk about as much, like in Stardew, that they're more willing to in Coral Island. And the other thing is, you know, there's a lot more parents with kids, or like there's a lot more relationships interconnected on the island. And there's parents with like young kids, but then there's parents with adult kids. Like I was mentioning Luke and his dad Walter and his mom Bree. And you see a lot more interactions with the different townies, like just interacting with one another in certain hard events.
Ooh, okay.
So like it's not so much an isolated event.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really fascinating. Or like there's this one hard event for Betty. She's like the older mom type who has like 4 adopted sons on the island. Some of which are blacksmiths, some of which are working in the tavern. But like one of her hard events is you guys are just holding this little celebration dinner to celebrate one of her sons taking over the bar that her and her husband used to own at her husband's grave. Just like a nice little outside dinner with the grave and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a letter saying that 2 of the siblings couldn't come back to the island because they were just too busy. Life just gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very real, very relatable stories, which I think you don't necessarily get as much in Stardew, with like connections to the outside world.
Yeah, no, I think I see what you mean now with more mature stories, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting to me that this and Fae Farm both ended up on your list, and you played like 60 hours of each.
Oh, and I'm still going hard on Coral Island. Like I don't even have fully upgraded stuff right now. Like instead of iridium, it's osmium. So I've got an osmium bug net, osmium fishing rod, pickaxe, hoe, because they made the hoe, or the scythe in this case, useful. Like it's so fun.
You can't do that.
Yeah, well, because so when you're diving, you have to collect kelp, bronze, silver, gold, and osmium, because that's how you So that's how you upgrade your fishing net, your fishing rod, your bug net, but also that's how you buy upgrades for the average quality of your crops, your hay to produce better quality animal products, and better quality like fruit trees and like other trees. So you don't get it from leveling up your skills, which you still level up and get perks for, but you have to research this stuff using the kelp essence, which you have to get through using the scythe.
Oh, okay.
And you're also cleaning up trash from the bottom of the ocean while you're trying to clean up this oil spill.
Interesting.
Like you have a proper impact on the island as a whole. And people don't acknowledge necessarily that it's you, because basically you're helping out the island goddess by activating these altars, and then helping out the merfolk by, again, activating these altars so that you can clean up all of the oil. So like, they don't realize that it's you because there's still supernatural forces at work, but they realize that you've done something, and like there's acknowledgement that you've worked hard to help clean up the island.
It sounds very, very nice. I really don't know how this one like went completely under my radar, like both in early access and in full release.
Same. And there's this whole island ranking system where like the more you contribute to the offerings to the goddess, which is kind of like it's kind of like the community center, you know, you unlock more stuff like that, like the greenhouse and other areas, through donating certain items. There's the diving, like I said, where you clean up the oil spills. And then there's the museum where, you know, the more stuff you donate. I know I'm at 243 items, and I have still not completed a single like collection proper.
Jeez.
Just because there's so many like different things. But I think, again, for me, it's the pacing. It goes slower than Cornucopia. So even though there's more, it's not just throwing it all at me at once.
You.
Yeah. The other thing is, it has quality of life improvements that Stardew didn't have. Now, I know in Stardew, like, you can't find bugs and stuff, but in this game, you can make a computer which will not only give you access to basically Amazon, like let you buy from shops online, as in you don't have to go to the stores.
That's
you can just do it from your farm. But you can also craft upgrade chips, which let you see what bugs you can catch in what parts of the town at what times. But you can upgrade it with fish, you can upgrade it with just like all of the different kind of things that are time or like season or weather dependent. You can click on it, and it's kind of like the TV, right? It's like, what could I catch today? What could I see today?
Right. It gives you an in-game wiki.
Yeah, basically.
That's very cool. That's a good idea.
But yeah, I like, and again, the characters are so, even the children are so fleshed out. So I don't know, it's so much more fleshed out, and the town as a whole, the story as a whole is just so much more fleshed out, that I think is why I've related so much to Stardew, because it feels like it's, you know, doing something similar. I feel like I'm involved with the town, which I think was my problem with Faith Farm, is I felt like I was working independent of the town.
Right.
And I have rambled on about this game for far too long. I will be making a video on it next year at some point, more than just a like podcast video. But like, yeah, this game has consumed me.
Yeah, just amazing that you've spent so long in two very similar games this year. It kind of speaks to the sort of game you were looking for in 2023.
And I didn't even realize I was looking for it. Like I said, one of them was a Keymailer game, so Faith Farm is Keymailer, and then the other one I just saw an article that literally read Coral Island is just Stardew but hotter.
I mean, that is a very intriguing title.
Well, and I mean, like their image was, of course, Yuri, my current wife, in a bikini, because it's an island. They're in bikinis half the time in the summer, just chilling on the beach. Anyway, I should move on before I continue rambling.
I can't believe that wasn't your game of the year. I think that's been like half your video so far.
Oh, probably. So on to just two quick honorable mentions. I did play both of these on Game Pass. Shout out, shill, all that jizz.
Chill.
All that stuff.
That jizz.
I meant to say all that shit, but like,
you definitely said all that jizz.
No, I meant to say all that jazz or like all that shit. It just came out wrong. Cut it, please.
Oh my god.
All that jazz is what I meant to say.
All that jizz.
Okay, let's retake it. Let's do it over.
No. No.
God damn it.
That's in there.
Oh shit. All that jazz, all that stuff. Was Atomic Hearts and Ravenlock. Now, I wanna address these two separately. So Atomic Heart was a game. It was a BioShock.
Was technically a game.
System Shock inspired shooter. I can't speak anymore. I played it all the way through. Was kind of like, it looks pretty, but there like it's so like dull gray brown. I'm like, I don't care about this story. But also, why with the vending machine does it make like some of the most sexual innuendos I've ever heard?
What? Yeah, wasn't the writing like pretty questionable in
Oh,
this
it was
game?
way less. Like it was way more than questionable.
Okay,
Like it
good to
was
know.
not. It was. Oh god. When the vending machine is like fill me up with all of your like juicy polymer,
Oh,
and like
I don't love that.
I played with the Russian like Russian. So I played in sub, so Russian voice acting, English subtitles, and I met
Right.
like it sound like watching videos. It sounds so much worse in English.
Yeah, I heard like yeah, the English writing was particularly bad.
Yeah. So that was not fun, and like the gameplay was fine. It's just it was interesting, but it had potential that I don't think it realized, and I
Okay.
didn't want to keep playing like a second time or like I kind of speed ran it. I didn't do a lot of the side objectives, which is very rare for me,
Hmm.
because the security alert is kind of a constant threat, and you can make it go down, but you can never like eliminate it entirely. You can never feel truly safe while exploring. So and like
Hmm.
when that security alert goes up, you just get like swarmed by stuff, and it's not something I wanted to continue to deal with while exploring. Just getting swarmed by like robots constantly,
Yeah, yeah, it sounds frustrating.
because you're constantly on the search for resources like ammo and stuff. So like when I'm trying to search for secrets or search for ammo, I don't want to have to use up more ammo.
Yeah, yeah, that's very fair.
And the other one is Ravenlock. Now this is a perfect game if you have kids. Like this is storybook fairy tale come to life. You play as a girl who gets sucked into a storybook or sucked into a mirror. I can't remember which one. But it's very like Red Queen, Alice in Wonderland type aesthetic.
Okay.
But like it's super simple. Like you can click just repeatedly and you'll just keep attacking. Like it's not a hard game. This is a game meant for children in
Okay.
terms of its gameplay. But I don't know. It was like a 4 hour thing. I got all achievements in it because it was a quick run through. But it was
Oh,
just a
nice.
nice little time. Like this came out again on Game Pass um, early on in the year, so before I left for South Korea, so before I was really under all that stress.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was just like it was a lovely little adventure.
That sounds very nice. I've never heard of it, amazingly, but it sounds nice.
That's fair. And I did want to quickly shout out Lies of P, which is once again on Game Pass. I have played about half of it, but it was not
Oh, okay.
running well enough on my laptop. So it's one of the games, again, one of the big ones of the year that I will be coming back to when I have a PC and when I'm
Okay.
in more of a mindset for like, and when I can handle that kind of game.
Yeah, a very,
I
very difficult Souls like.
It confused me a lot, to be honest. Like it didn't feel like a lot of what I was used to, even with the parrying, and I didn't parry as much as I should have. I was definitely more of a dodge fanatic in that one.
Yeah, that's what I did in the demo as well.
So I think I'm gonna have to tackle it again with like on PC when I have it, with a renewed mindset of okay, let's treat this more like Sekiro than Dark Souls.
Yeah, let's learn this as Lies of P instead of just a Souls like.
Yeah, plus two, the weapons I wasn't really jiving with.
Okay.
Like just a lot of the especially slower attacking weapons were just way too slow. The fast ones had like no damage, and I'm told like the best weapon in the game is about 2/3 of the way through. Just didn't quite get there.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
the other thing is I also tried Remnant 2 because I loved the first Remnant, have all achievements in that.
Mhm.
But I was getting I literally I bought it, I loaded it up. I was getting like 10 FPS.
Yeah, that's
So I had to return it. That's again one of those games where I will be coming back to it. Because guess what? It's on Game Pass now.
Do you think it has crossplay with Steam? Because I want to get it. I want to play it with you because it looks great.
I'll have to look it up. I will find out once I have a PC because yeah, again, it's on Game Pass, and I mean I'd probably honestly just buy it again because I did refund it. I didn't just keep it.
Right.
But it's again one of the bigger games from this year that I will be playing on PC, like on my PC when I get one. Baldur's Gate 3, didn't try it because I knew my PC could not run it effectively. I will try it at some point. I know everyone loves it. I have not played the original
didn't.
2 in a long time. Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I didn't like it.
Huh. But it was the game of the year.
So was Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm not gonna get that one.
Anyway, I'm very intrigued for your game of the year after how much you loved your number 2 pick.
Well, surprise, surprise, this is also on Game Pass.
Of course.
Because I think like at 3 out of 5 of my games have to be on Game Pass every year. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's Taylor's quota.
True. They're not paying me, but I'm hoping they will one day. So, my game of the year, which actually came out in January of this year, and like just immediately, like it grabbed that top spot and it strangled it. Like there was no contest.
Okay.
Was Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now,
okay.
this is another like
you liked it.
rhythm-based, like action game, kind of score chaser, but like I don't know what about it. I'm garbage at this game in terms of like the rhythm-based combat, but like it's not one of those games that stops you if you don't hit the rhythm. It's just you don't get as many points. But like the soundtrack was incredible, the gameplay was fantastic, the story was like the story was okay, but like I don't know. I loved the characters, I loved the music, I loved the gameplay, and it was so hype. It was so much fun. When you're in it, when you're on a roll, like you're just going. And there's so much with this game to unlock, like in terms of the murals by completing challenges. There's chipsets to find. There's a whole bunch of ways to improve your character that I didn't even get to. But like it's just, I don't know, man, something about it just really, really clicked with me.
Interesting. Did you ever play like Jet Set Radio?
I did. I love Jet Set Radio.
Okay. This is quite similar. Am I right there? Maybe not.
It's more action, like, and less platforming than Jet Set Radio.
Oh, okay.
Because like, so this is a little bit of platform, but it's a lot more like action based.
Interesting. I definitely thought this was like a spiritual successor. Like I didn't look into it too much because it didn't really appeal to me.
Well, it's funny too because like the whole thing is you get an iPad, like an iPod, grafted to your heart, which is the reason like you move in time with the beat. But also
Sick.
the colors are gorgeous. All the environments like are moving up and down with the beat. So like you can just look around you if you need to reacquire that beat and like reacquire your rhythm.
Oh, cool.
Like it's so beautifully done, and like the original music they did for this game is incredible, and it's published by Bethesda. So Bethesda's a publisher, hit it out of the park this year. Bethesda's the developer, not so much.
Yeah, and it's developed by the same team who made Ghostwire Tokyo. And
it is developed by Tango Gameworks.
Tango, yeah, so funny. And it just came out of nowhere at the start of the year, right?
Oh, it was
like,
it was a shadow release. They like no advertising, just like here you go.
Yeah, I don't remember what event was on in January, but they're like, here's a trailer and bam, it's out.
I think
right
it was
now.
like Tokyo Game Show.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you're right.
And then I was like, okay, I'll check this out. And man, it hits so well.
That's great. Locked in.
Like I'm surprised you never played this because you love rock music like I do.
Yeah.
But like that is the core of this game is rock, and like you can do the streamer safe version where they don't have like the licensed songs, but like fighting the first boss to 9 Inch Nails, like was it 9 million? I think is their song.
Oh, I don't know that much 9 Inch Nails.
Hang on, 9 Inch Nails. Is it 9 million?
I know like 2 songs.
Or is it either 9 million or 1 million? Yeah, I think it's 1 million.
Okay.
But like because they've timed the boss fights, every fight perfectly to the music they've selected, whether it's a licensed track or a track that they made to replace that licensed track if you're in streamer mode.
Well, I definitely wasn't expecting that as your game of the year, but also partially because it came out so early in the year and I'd kind of forgotten about it.
That's fair. Yeah, like I said, I fell in love with it. I think chai, macaron, peppermint, 808, cinnamon. Oh, my boy, cinnamon. Oh my god.
You're just saying words.
Well, these are character names. It's the funny, like even the bad guy's character name is Kale.
That's great.
And it's like, what? The only normal person's name is Roxanne.
God, what a normal name.
Right? But yeah,
it's
like
a Police reference.
Sorry?
Roxanne, the song by the Police. I'm just assuming.
Oh, maybe. It's very possible.
Very music, maybe.
But yeah, like there was so much love put into this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I put in like 25 hours just in like the initial playthrough.
Damn. And then you went back and got all achievements?
No, I didn't. just because like this game is hard and I'm really bad at it.
That's fair.
Like if it like there's most of the games that I go back for all achievements are ones that I'm either like decent at, not good but decent, or like ones that just aren't difficult as a whole, ones that I can work at for longer periods of time. Yeah,
yeah, I feel that as well.
But no, I don't know. Like, I love this game because the characters are so well written. Like it's so gorgeous. And I mean, well, there's so much about this game. The well-written characters, the beautiful views, the fantastic music-based gameplay, the soundtrack, which again is arguably, in my opinion, the one of the best in gaming. Like this deserved. If it did not win best soundtrack, I'd be so pissed, and I don't think it did. So I'm livid.
Oh, so Taylor is now pissed.
Yeah, but no, absolutely, go play this game right now. Like play this for however long it takes you to beat it. Then play Coral Island, and like the vibes are getting there.
And then wind down with Coral Island.
100%. Like if you need to hype yourself up, just listen to the soundtrack. Like you will just fucking go. And it's not like rage inducing. It's like, it's like yeah, let's go. Like it pumps you up.
Yeah. Well, that's great. What a great list, and I'm glad there was no overlap with our list this year. It was nice to have very, very different lists.
I'm sorry I rambled for so long. I'm looking at a recording like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think you've probably broken the record this year for our longest game of the year video.
Let's go.
So well done, Taylor.
I'll do even longer next year, or at least I'll try.
Oh my god, you might be pushing it to an hour next year.
I'll do my best not to. It's just, I don't know, man. Like to me, like I said, this year there were so many polarizing games for both good and bad. But this year had so many games. I should say a few games that I genuinely fell in love with. That I would put in my best games of all time. And I think it's been a long time outside of like Elden Ring that I've had a year like this with multiple best games of all time contenders.
That's really good. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I like doing these, is to hear what games really spoke to people each year.
Yeah, for you it's puzzles, for me it's farming.
Yeah, apparently. It's puzzles and horror for me.
And it's farming and action for me.
Yeah, vibes.
Oh god.
Okay, well, thank you so much for doing your list, Taylor.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry it took so long.
No worries. If you also made it to the end of this video, make sure you leave your games in the comments below if you didn't on my video, or do it again on this video to help the engagement, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget to check out my video coming out probably late January. But I will make sure I send the link to John when that goes up, and I will link his videos as well. Let us know, too, what you thought about the games that we shared on here. Have you played any of them? Have you thought about checking them out? Are you going to get Game Pass? Please get Game Pass, absolutely. Send all of the Game Pass love to Xbox and just tell them that my channel sent you, so I can get that sweet sponsorship. It'd be really appreciated.
Yeah, do it.
But yeah, let us know what you're playing. Let us know what you thought. And I'll let John wrap this up.
All right, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.